So this is where the Boston Tea Party happened, right here at Griffin's Wharf. And if you want to know more about that, stay tuned. I'm from Boston. I'm a tour guide. And every day I take people around showing them all the great stuff there is to see and do in Boston. And one of the things we talk about is the Boston Tea Party. Now, if you don't know what the Boston Tea Party was, it was a political protest that happened on December 16, 1773. It was one of many protests that the colonists did against the British government because they were mad that the British government was taxing them without representation. They didn't have any say in Parliament, so they were taxing tea, they were taxing all sorts of stuff. The colonists were like, hey, we don't like this. We should have the right to make our own laws, and you shouldn't be taxing us. But the British government was like, no, we're the big boss. You guys just shut up and pay your taxes. So that's why the colonists got together and decided, you know what, we're gonna have a little tea party. Now, the first thing that happened before the Boston Tea Party was the mass meetings. There were two mass meetings that happened in Boston in the month of December 1773. The first one was on the 11th. That's actually when they formed the first committee of correspondence. And then the second meeting was on December the 16th. And both of these took place in the Old South Meeting House right over there. This building no longer stands. It was torn down in 1814. So here's how the mass meetings went down. Basically, the Sons of Liberty, which is a secret society that's dedicated to the liberties and rights of the colonists, they started spreading the word that there was going to be a meeting at the Old South Meeting House. Now, word got out and people were like, oh, the colonists are having a meeting. Let's go to that. And so people came from all over New England to attend these meetings. Some people even said they walked barefoot in the snow because they wanted to be a part of this. And at the first mass meeting on the 11th, they formed the first committee of correspondence. And this committee's job was to communicate with other colonies and tell them what was going on here in Massachusetts. They also decided that they needed to get rid of British goods, especially British tea. At this point, there were 3 ships docked at Griffin's Wharf that were filled to the brim with tea. And the colonists were like, no way, we're not letting you sell this tea. We want to get rid of it. So that's when they made a plan to have a big, huge party. A tea party where they would dump all the tea into the ocean. Now, at the second mass meeting on the 16th, they told everybody what they had planned, and they recruited 92 men to help them dump the tea. Then they all marched down here to Griffin's Wharf, which was the only wharf where you could actually access these ships. They had 3 entrances to the wharf. One was here by the North Church, another one was near the Old South Meeting House, and another one was down here by what's now called Congress Street. They closed off all those entrances. Nobody could come in or out. And then they told the merchants to hand over the tea. The merchants were like, oh, no way, this is our tea, and we want to sell it. But the patriots were like, no, we want it. And so the merchants were like, okay, whatever, you guys win. So they brought all the chests of tea down to the water, and they started dumping them into the water. And it was on this wharf right here that it all went down. So if you want to learn more about that, come on one of my tours and I'll show you all about it. I'm from Boston. This is your tour guide. And if you want to know more about all the great stuff there is to see and do in Boston, go to our website and book your next tour today.